Hello, YouTubers. Joe here of Joe and Paul. Now, this is at about 4:30 on February 1st, 2013. And, Paul may come home from work while we're having this discussion, and that'd be great if he did. But if he comes in, there'll be a little flurry of disruption and so forth. The hat is, because it's so blasted cold, the high today has been around 16, and that's sort of a hopeful figure. That being said, we've pretty much gotten off easy in terms of really cold weather this year. We've had maybe a little not quite an inch of a dusting of snow over the last 2 days, which is trivial. I mean, even non-four-wheel drive folks can get out of our driveway with that. Now, I've got my winter beard. The animal effect will kick in about 2 weeks, and then I'll shave it off, even if it is cold. But I do this each year. Folks at church over the last 4 years have finally gotten used to it. Said, "Oh, when are you going to grow your winter beard?" Or "Why are you waiting so long to grow your winter beard?" And so, I'm not normally a fan of facial hairs in general, and I'm certainly not a fan of holes in your face, certainly, or your scrotum, or your taint, or your belly button. Basically, no self-mutilation. Don't write on yourself. Don't do that. The only justification for writing on yourself is if you've been in the military, and you can have like a Marine Corps or Army thing. But come on, otherwise that's very low rent. It makes you look like, insert favorite color here, trash. It does. Sorry, guys. That's just what it does. Don't do that. Nobody likes to look at it. I know I don't. All right. Now, having said that, I take the Wall Street Journal, and while I stopped taking it for about 3 years before I started retaking it because it had turned into a chick newspaper, and because it had been bought by that egregious Murdoch fellow. You've got to take a newspaper of some sort, and I mean a newspaper, not some sort of community booster rag, rah, 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 let's develop downtown type stuff like the Columbus Dispatch. So I bought, I bought the bullet, so to speak, and subscribed, and I got this package deal. Oh, $120 a year, and you get both the digital and the print edition. Well, I don't need the print edition. I've got this machine. So I tried to get them to agree to just not deliver the print edition. No. I said, you're welcome to cancel the print edition, but then you'd have to resubscribe to the digital edition only, and that would be another $120 more than what I already paid. So now I go down each day and I pick up the print edition, and occasionally I'll look through it. Sometimes, well, on the weekends they have the review section, so maybe I'll read a review. But print edition comes up from the end of the driveway, goes into the trash, and I've already read the paper on the digits online. Now, I think that's just irrational, and there's got to be some way to stop that. So, having said that, I got my new electric bill after having contracted with First Energy suppliers for 7 years at a certain rate. And that's just for the electricity. The distribution fee is still from American Electric Power. And I was pleased to see that they actually were charging me a rate slightly lower than what I had contracted for which I had contracted. And we'll see. It'll certainly be a lot cheaper in the summer because the summer rates always go way up over the winter rates. So I think I was betting on the fact that the rates are going to go up anyway. Some people are obviously betting on the fact that the rates, or the possibility that, more precisely, possibility that rates will go lower because of low-cost natural gas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. I usually ignore solicitations like that, but I thought, well, given the history of the government helping us, we can't have carbon dioxide. We're going to charge you for that. So I thought, well, let's just at least get 7 years in head start on that. I guess, according to my ex-wife, excuse me a moment, crud on these glasses. According to my ex-wife, my son is teaching his confirmation class down at the Roman Catholic school where he teaches. And this is always sort of a busy time of year for him. Now, some years confirmation's in Easter, some years before Lent, some years it's in Lent. This year, I guess, as near as I could make out from her, it's it's the 10th of February, not this coming Sunday. It depends on when the bishop's there, and the bishop's got a chopped off leg, so sometimes he's got problems. Man's got a chopped off leg. So, apparently this bishop likes to question the students up close and personal in a very soft voice, very soft, almost mumbling voice. For those of you who didn't hear that, I said in a very soft voice, almost in a soft, almost mumbling voice. I was there last year. Didn't take communion, of course, because I'm a Protestant, and they won't let me take communion. So much for the one holy Catholic Church, using the term Catholic to mean all Christians. Isn't it great? No suicide bombing here, guys, though. Just pointing out a disparity in your attitude toward fellow Christians. Anyway, so he's teaching that, and soon, when that ends, the sort of intensity of the stress of preparing the confirmation classes will be over for him. I'm so proud of him. I saw him up there at the lectern last year, and his really spiffy suit, and all of his kids lined up. It was great. Even though it is for a, how shall we say, even though it was for that enterprise. Yes, I went to his baccalaureate, I couldn't take communion. I went to his graduation, I couldn't take communion. I went to his marriage, I couldn't take communion. I didn't go to my grandchild's baptism because by that time I was pretty much fed up with all that nonsense. Here's an idea, guys. If you believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God and in the resurrection and as the Savior of the world, and whether you've been baptized or not, let people take communion. Doesn't matter anything about the Pope, just there it is. Doesn't matter whether you think it's the actual body and blood, just let people be in communion. All right, having said that little rant. So now I talked to my ex-wife today extensively about computers. I pointed out to her that rather than being on the phone with all the hissing and the clicking and the popping and, oh, what's happening? What are you doing on your end? We could be doing a face-to-face communication, very much like we're doing now in a way, except without the Skyping or the face, I guess Apple calls it FaceTime. I said, well, you get an Apple, we can do FaceTime. Well, you explain and you explain and you explain and explain. And of course, I think, sometimes she generally doesn't understand, and sometimes I think she just likes to yank my chain. There's always the salmon effect with my ex-wife. I've not been out there and seen this, but I've seen videos and pictures of them of the fish ladders, on the Columbia River where the salmon go upstream. They sort of, climb up around the dams. They're sort of. Talking to my ex-wife sometimes feels like being a salmon climbing up the fish ladder. Now, it wasn't quite that bad today. She was actually being somewhat receptive to this. I was explaining to her about what I've got. I've got this MacBook Pro Retina 15-inch, and it was like $2,800 when all said and done. And Paul's got MacBook Pro Retina 13-inch, and that was like $2,300 when all said and done. And I said, that's what you really want. I said, now you could get the non-retina display for like $1,800. And I said, but believe you me, give yourself a treat. You're nearing the end of time here. Treat yourself, treat yourself to the best. I mean, really, treat yourself to the best. She doesn't need all that much memory that would be in what I've got. And maybe I don't either, although I did a time machine saving the day, and it was like 2 gigabytes. So maybe I do need all this memory. So we'll find out. But my word, what about Google? What about Safari? What about how do I do? Do I have to pay for this? How about face this? Oh, there's Paul. See, now Paul just got home. Paul just got home, and I'm discussing. I've got this little outline here. Stuff. So, but Paul just got home, and that's great, and he's safe, and that's great. That's even better.
I made my day in laundry.
Yeah, Paul was doing the laundry today. He went in at 10 o'clock this morning, and here it is. Well, and so 10 to 4:40 or so. And, well, we're all intact, and that's good because, some days, you always wonder. So I think I've pretty much covered most of the stuff I wanted to cover. I could talk about some other stuff, but that might not be speaking the truth in peace and love. You'd be speaking the truth, but not in peace and love. So I'm going to sign off now and say bye-bye. And I don't know, maybe Paul and I will be on later. We'll see. All righty. Bye-bye now.